Imagine a world where dragons soar through the skies, unicorns gallop through enchanted forests, and mermaids swim in the depths of the ocean. We've all seen them in movies, read about them in books, and even played games featuring these fantastical beings. But what if I told you there might be a scientific explanation for their existence? That's right. Today we're diving into the science behind mythological creatures. Mythical creatures have fascinated humans for centuries. From the ancient Greeks to modern fantasy writers, these beings have captured our imaginations and become a staple of folklore, mythology, and literature across the globe. But here's the question. Could there be a scientific explanation behind these fantastical beings? Are they purely the product of human imagination, or could they be rooted in real-world phenomena? Let's find out. Exploring the roots of mythological creatures. To understand mythical creatures, we need to go back to their origins. Myths and legends often reflect the fears, hopes, and beliefs of the cultures that created them. Take Medusa, for example, the Greek Gorgon, with snake-like hair who could turn people to stone. Could this myth have been inspired by the fear of snakes and the deadly power of venomous creatures? Absolutely. Now, let's talk about griffins, creatures with the head and wings of an eagle and the body of a lion. Some historians believe griffins were inspired by ancient travelers who stumbled upon dinosaur fossils, particularly Protoceratops, in the Gobi Desert. These fossils, with their bird-like beaks and lion-like bodies, could have easily been interpreted as evidence of griffins. And then there's the kraken, a giant sea monster that might have been born from sailors' encounters with colossal squid or the terrifying power of storms at sea. Before modern science, people relied on myths and legends to explain the world around them. This is called folk taxonomy, a way of classifying and understanding nature through stories. These tales helped people make sense of the unknown, often blending reality with a touch of the supernatural. Imagine living in a time before microscopes, telescopes, or even written language. The natural world was full of mysteries: thunderstorms, eclipses, strange animals, and unexplored lands. Without the tools of modern science, people turned to storytelling to explain these phenomena. For example, the ancient Greeks believed that thunderstorms were caused by Zeus, the king of the gods, hurling lightning bolts from the sky. And the Norse believed that the aurora borealis, or northern lights, were the reflections of the Valkyries' armor as they rode across the heavens. Similarly, the Maori of New Zealand attributed volcanic eruptions to the fiery anger of the goddess Ruaumoko. Even maps were shaped by myth. This ancient Babylonian clay tablet depicts the world as a flat disk surrounded by a cosmic ocean, a world serpent from their legends. It wasn't geography. It was a blend of observation and belief. These stories weren't just entertainment. They were a way of passing down knowledge and wisdom. Folk taxonomy helped people categorize and understand the natural world. For instance, many cultures have myths about shape-shifting creatures, like werewolves or skinwalkers. These stories might have been inspired by real animals like wolves or bears, but they also served as cautionary tales, warning people about the dangers of the wilderness. Different cultures developed their own unique creatures based on their environment and experiences. In the deserts of the Middle East, you'll find stories of jinn, spirits made of smokeless fire. In the icy tundras of the Arctic, the Inuit tell tales of the Kalupalik, a sea creature that kidnaps children who wander too close to the water. These myths reflect the challenges and wonders of the natural world, as seen through the eyes of the people who lived there. Unraveling the science of mythical traits. Now, let's get into the science behind some of these creatures' most iconic traits. Take dragons, for example. Fire-breathing dragons might seem impossible, but did you know there's a real-world creature that can produce flames? Meet the bombardier beetle. It shoots a boiling hot liquid from its abdomen, creating a small explosion. Sounds pretty dragon-like, right? The bombardier beetle mixes chemicals in its abdomen to create a scalding, explosive spray. It's basically a tiny flamethrower, nature's version of dragon fire. And what about mermaids? Their ability to breathe underwater might seem magical, but aquatic mammals like dolphins and whales have evolved to hold their breath for extended periods. Their unique anatomy, like blowholes and specialized lungs, could have inspired the legend of mermaids. In fact, the manatee, a slow-moving marine mammal, is often cited as a possible real-world inspiration for mermaid sightings by sailors. Mermaids might be fiction, but glowing sea creatures like the anglerfish are real. Their bioluminescence could have inspired tales of underwater spirits. Even Aristotle wrote about sea women, likely manatees sunbathing on rocks. Or consider the unicorn of the sea. The narwhal, a mysterious Arctic whale, has fascinated people for centuries with its long, spiraled tusk. Actually an elongated tooth that can grow up to 10 feet long. In medieval Europe, these rare tusks were prized as the legendary horns of unicorns, believed to possess extraordinary powers. Nobles and alchemists swore they could neutralize poison, cure diseases, and even detect treachery. The most extravagant display of this medieval obsession can still be seen in Denmark. The legendary throne of King Christian IV. Built in the late 1600s, this magnificent seat was crafted almost entirely from narwhal tusks, reinforcing the belief that unicorn horns were gifts of magic and prestige. Ever wonder how electric eels inspired myths? These remarkable fish, actually a type of knife fish, can generate up to 600 volts of electricity, enough to stun a horse, disable predators, and even deter human threats. Their unique ability to produce electric shocks has fascinated and terrified people for centuries. Ancient Amazonian tribes likely saw electric eels as living lightning bolts, creatures infused with supernatural power. Some indigenous groups believed these shocking fish were the spirits of the river, guarding sacred waters and punishing those who dared to disrespect nature. In some legends, shamans were said to harness the eel's power, calling upon its energy for protection or healing rituals. Some myths turned out to be real. Take the Komodo dragon, a 10-foot lizard that breathes toxic bacteria. For centuries, Indonesian locals told tales of land crocodiles that could kill with a single bite. Scientists dismissed it as folklore, until 1910, when a Dutch explorer confirmed their existence. Imagine stumbling upon one of these. No wonder they called them dragons. Of course, not all mythical traits can be explained by science, at least not yet. The ability to fly, for example, is a common trait among creatures like dragons and griffins, but it's still beyond human capability. This is where the power of imagination comes in. Mythical creatures remind us that while science can explain a lot, there's still room for wonder and creativity. Mythical creatures in modern culture. Mythical creatures aren't just relics of the past. They're alive and well in modern culture. From literature and film to video games and art, these beings continue to inspire us. Think about Harry Potter, with its dragons, unicorns, and merpeople, or The Lord of the Rings, with its majestic eagles and terrifying Balrog. Beyond entertainment, mythical creatures are rich in symbolism. The phoenix represents rebirth and renewal, while the griffin symbolizes strength and guardianship. Even in science, the study of biomimicry, where we draw inspiration from nature, can trace its roots back to the awe-inspiring traits of mythical creatures. At their core, mythical creatures are more than just fantastical beings. They're windows into the human experience. They reflect our hopes, fears, and desires, and they remind us of the power of imagination to shape our understanding of the world. The psychology behind mythical creatures. Now, let's take a moment to explore the psychology behind why we're so drawn to mythical creatures. Why do these fantastical beings captivate us so much? Well, it turns out they tap into something deep within our psyche. From a young age, we're exposed to stories of heroes, monsters, and magical creatures. These stories help us make sense of the world and our place in it. They teach us about bravery, morality, and the unknown. Mythical creatures often embody our deepest fears and greatest aspirations. Psychologists suggest that mythical creatures serve as archetypes, universal symbols that resonate across cultures. For example, dragons often represent chaos and the unknown, while unicorns symbolize purity and hope. These archetypes help us process complex emotions and experiences. In a way, mythical creatures are a reflection of ourselves. They embody the parts of us that are wild, untamed, and full of potential. They remind us that there's more to the world than what we can see and touch. The future of mythical creatures. So, what does the future hold for mythical creatures? As technology advances, we're able to bring these beings to life in ways that were once unimaginable. From CGI in movies to virtual reality experiences, mythical creatures are becoming more real than ever. Imagine a world where you can ride a dragon in virtual reality or swim with mermaids in an augmented reality ocean. The line between myth and reality is blurring, and it's an exciting time to be a fan of these fantastical beings. Moreover, as we continue to explore the mysteries of the natural world, who knows what new creatures we might discover? Perhaps some of the myths we've created will one day be proven true. After all, the ocean is still largely unexplored, and new species are being discovered all the time. For instance, the giant squid, once thought to be a myth, was finally captured on camera in its natural habitat in 2012. We filmed one in the wild, 36 feet long, with eyes the size of dinner plates. Sometimes truth is stranger than fiction. This discovery not only validated centuries of sailor tales, but also opened up new avenues for marine biology research. Mythical creatures and cryptozoology. Speaking of discovering new creatures, let's talk about cryptozoology, the study of animals that are rumored to exist but have not been proven by science. Cryptozoologists often investigate creatures like Bigfoot, the Loch Ness Monster, and the Chupacabra, which share similarities with mythical creatures. Bigfoot, Yeti, the Loch Ness Monster, are they real? Cryptozoologists, a mix of scientists and enthusiasts, dedicate their lives to uncovering the truth behind these legendary creatures. Using advanced technology like thermal imaging drones, motion-sensing cameras, and environmental DNA, eDNA, analysis. They comb remote forests, frozen peaks, and deep lakes for evidence of elusive beings. Bigfoot hunters have captured eerie howls, massive footprints, and even thermal footage of what they claim are large bipedal primates roaming the wilderness. Skeptics argue these could be bears, hoaxes, or simple misinterpretations. Yet, believers point to native legends and eyewitness reports spanning centuries as possible proof of an undiscovered hominid species. Meanwhile, in the icy Himalayas, Yeti expeditions have uncovered mysterious tracks and collected hair samples. Scientific testing often traces these to bears, but some researchers remain convinced a yet undiscovered creature could be out there. In 2019, a groundbreaking eDNA study of Loch Ness aimed to settle the mystery once and for all. The results? No evidence of large, unknown reptiles, just an abundance of eel DNA, sparking theories that sightings of Nessie might actually be misidentified giant eels. While some were disappointed, others saw it as proof that Loch Ness still holds biological secrets. While many cryptids remain unproven, some have turned out to be real. Take the okapi, for example. Known as the African unicorn, this elusive animal was once thought to be a myth until it was discovered in the early 20th century. Similarly, the coelacanth, a prehistoric fish believed to be extinct for millions of years, was found alive in 1938. Dubbed a living fossil, it's proof that reality can outdo legend. These discoveries remind us that the line between myth and reality is often thinner than we think. Could it be that some mythical creatures are simply undiscovered species waiting to be found? Or are they purely the product of our imagination? The search for these creatures continues to captivate scientists and enthusiasts alike, blending science, folklore, and adventure. Conclusion: mythological creatures and the human experience. So, what have we learned today? Mythological creatures, while often seen as purely fictional, are deeply rooted in our cultural history and our understanding of the natural world. From ancient myths to modern storytelling, these beings continue to captivate us, blending science, imagination, and the human experience. The next time you encounter a mythical creature, whether in a book, a movie, or your own imagination, remember, it's not just a fantastical being. It's a reflection of our ingenuity, our curiosity, and our enduring love for the mysteries of the world. So, what other mythical creatures might have a scientific basis? And what mysteries still remain to be unraveled? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and remember, stay curious, stay imaginative, and keep exploring the wonders of our world. If you enjoyed this journey, be sure to subscribe for more deep dives into the unknown. Until next time, keep questioning, keep wondering, and keep the adventure alive. See you soon.